I told you you were doomed. 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 Dude, you got doomed. You doomed.
Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult, you're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult. Throwing out a hissy fit, your views ain't in the millions, and every up and comer is a threat to what you're dealing in. Instead of getting better, you just spout up on your Facebook, crying on your Twitter bit about how bad your case look. In case you didn't get it yet, allow me to rephrase it. You cry more than my 4-year-old, I'm actually amazed. Like you couldn't even see the forest for the trees. The writing's on the wall, literally there to see. How you getting salt that a culture blowing up, man? I think there was a point where you started growing up, man. Instead of showing up, man, irrationally mad. Don't appropriate impression like the latest fashion fad. It isn't cool or funny to be acting like an edgelord. You alienate friends, pushing closer to the edge more. I don't know how to say it anyway to make it clear. If you're the one unhappy, then the problem's in the mirror. Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult, you're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult. The net is a repository for the vast expanses of human knowledge and all the technological advances, and I can't say enough how you gotta be open-minded. Cause if you're looking for a fight, then you damn well find it. An axe needs grinding, you're not alone. There's a million other nerds who can bitch and moan and groan about how there's a release date delay of the new game. Man, decrease the cliche of your neckbeard. I'm a fear to the intensity of your love for two characters. You claim I've got some chemistry and they belong together. Every other ship is toast. Call you Cortez when you're like, burn the boat. Said your ship is sunk and you stunk like the blogger who insisted to you. The review versus Harry Potter versus Julia Roberts. The latter's the victor. You're about to make a victim of some asshole hipster. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. You're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. S-A-L-T-S.
Oh. Pills? What the hell? Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, hey. This is Commander Dan, and welcome to Retro Station 1989. Oh, hey. This is Commander Dan, and welcome to Retro Station 1989. Holy crap, man. Where am I? Oh, well, looks like my plan worked. All that booty wine and all those sleeping pills, I'm in the dream world now. Know how I can tell? It's so spooky. Look how spooky it is. A little spooky. That means I'm that much closer to getting Jason's ass and Freddy's ass together so they can fight. My plan's gonna work, baby. Because in the dream world, you can do anything you want. Margot. Hey, Margot? Shit. Uh-oh. I may have miscalculated. Well, at least Freddy's more of a fucking clown than he is a killer these days anyway, so I'll deal with this. You watch.
Freddy, or as he's known to the people of Springwood, the Springwood Slasher, aka Freddy Krueger, aka Freddy, don't leave your kids with that weird gardener who has a glove with knives in the fingers that looks like he spent a really, really, really long time on. Krueger, aka, yeah, and did you hear the time he talked about his mom, who was a nun, but she was like raped by 10,000 maniacs? I mean, not the band, but 10,000 actual asylum maniacs? Krueger, aka, yeah, that's the guy we're gonna go fucking burn up. I think it's cool. Grab the gasoline. Krueger. Krueger was a maniacal killer from Elm Street who mainly focused on killing neighborhood children on Elm Street. And besides being a general creep and pedo, is mostly known for being burnt to an inside-out bacon bit by the parents of those former living but now dead Elm Street kids. He then became a gruesome, terrifying revenant, A ghost hell-bent on slicing and dicing the rest of the Elm Street brats to torment their dumb shit parents for number 1, not moving away from Elm Street, and number 2, getting away with their fiery revenge on him so long ago. The movies, directed by Wes Craven, began with Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984, and it was based on a story that Craven had read in the newspaper about kids keeping themselves awake until they died. So he wrote a story to explain why that might be going on. And, for the record, it scared the living shit poop right out of me. Seriously, folks, here's a little creepypasta for all you kiddies out there. When I was like 8 or 9, I was sleeping in my grandmother's house, and I had a nightmare that I was being chased by Leatherface through a slaughterhouse. I could hear his chainsaw roaring behind me, and I was trying to run, but it was like my legs were coated in lead and stuck to the floor with glue. They just wouldn't move. Or if they did, it was like really, really slow. I tried to scream, but my voice wouldn't come. I pushed and screamed so hard in my dreams I thought my larynx was going to shatter and my thorax was going to blast apart. Until finally, I could hear the footsteps behind me, and I couldn't turn my head, and all I could do is hear the roar of Leatherface's chainsaw as it came down on my 8-year-old melon. And just before he hit me, I was woke up by my grandmother. Her eyes were the size of dinner plates, and her face was white as a ghost. Apparently, I was screaming like I was being boiled alive. Those were her exact words. So, from that point on, I had a phobia of nightmares. I mean, I was afraid that I could lose control of my mind while I'm sleeping and just scare the shit out of myself. So I stopped liking horror movies at that point. And so imagine a movie where the premise is that the kids have nightmares that kill them. Yeah, I said, oh no, fuck that very much. I want no part of that. I didn't say those words because, for one, my dad would have slapped me, and my grandma's a sweet lady. You don't say the F word to a sweet lady like your grandma. But fast forward to 1986, and Nightmare 2 comes out, and things had changed. I was starting to love horror movies at that time because of this magazine, Fangoria. Fangoria taught me about how the movies were made and how my fear was based on something that wasn't real. So the less I worried about horror movies and being afraid of them, the more I started to love things like special effects and Tom Savini and grossing out my friends at school with the books. So when Nightmare 3 came out and I found out that there were the Dream Warriors in there, and if you had the power of imagination, you could kick Freddy Krueger's ass, well, this was a whole new ball game.
I'm awake. Oh, shit. Margot. Damn it. Margot. Margot.
Yes, Commander Dipshit. Oh, look. Little Piglet having himself a bad dream. You're gonna squeal, chunk style.
Hey, eat an 8 salad, fucking fair face. I ain't afraid of your tired ass. You bring it on, bitch. Come on out.
Wait until you play my game, little Danny boy. I got a whole lot of fun waiting for you. I'm your Margot now, beef tits.
Bring your fritter face out here, you little burnt, crispy asshole, and I'll teach you a lesson when I was...
Oh yeah? Tough talk, buddy. Read the label, you silly bitch.
LJN!
Nightmare on Elm Street. Has anything been as licensed as Freddy Krueger? I mean, in the late 80s, he was all over the damn place. Freddy had his own 900 number, a rap that he himself did on an album called His Greatest Hits, and an uncredited feature on a DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince track called Nightmare on My Street. Dude had a TV show called Freddy's Nightmares. He had yo-yos, themed action figures where the action figure wanted to dress up like Freddy Krueger. He had his own doll that you could pull the string and cuddle with. Remember, this dude murders kids with his hand knives. Jesus, and whatever the unholy fudge pucker fright squirter is, he had that too. Look at that little bastard. He's got his arm up Freddy's neck hole and squeezing his trachea to squirt his peers with Freddy's corpse moisture. Holy shit. Man, the 80s were the best time to grow up in ever. Anyone who says otherwise was born in the 90s, or got hit in the head with a fright squirter. I mean, now that I think about it, maybe parents were right to get out on toy makers' asses about this stuff. Oh, and you can't fool me, LJN. I know your little ruse. Notice that there's the Entertech logo on that fright squirter. Entertech was LJN's line of toys when they couldn't be given any kind of care to give a shit about child safety. I mean, check out this Tech 9. It's a water pistol that will definitely get your kid Swiss cheesed by the cops. Holy crap. It's either like LJN had no idea that you were going to make some Swiss kids if you sent them out on the streets with this toy, or they just did not give one damn. Stickers, sticker albums. Hell, I think people are even getting their cars custom painted to look like Freddy, and their NES controllers custom painted to work with the motif of Freddy, even though we all know that Freddy is all about the power glove when he's tormenting his victims. And not to mention a board game. Wow, I kind of want this thing. Look at that. Little rooms, little people. But damn, a board game for kids about a child murdering sex pest is like making this board game, The House of 1,000 Corpses, or this one. I mean, what's next? Celebrating these killers on cereal boxes? Oh my god, they did it. Holy shit. Well, LJN and Nintendo, having seen some success with the horror genre when they did Jaws and Friday the 13th, cashed in on the Freddy Krueger craze and the upcoming release of the Nintendo Foursquare by creating the game we're going to talk about today, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, Freddy, you gonna make a move? Huh, punk? You French fry smelling ass. You better not come step to me. This is the dream world, bitch, and I got an imagination. Boy, I'll whoop the scabrous bullshit right off your body. I'll drag you out in them dirty-ass trousers, slap that hat off your head, and give you a Dutch rub to all the scar tissue. Because I'll do it. Because I got the karate skills. And your game, well, that's another matter altogether. I tell you what, Freddy, I tell you what. If you were such a man, you'd come waltzing out here, and I'd grab you by your ears, and I'd jump into the real world, and I'd make you fight Jason, and you'd better beat his ass, too, because I took a lot of these, whatever they are, out of this thing, and I drink dookie wine, and I came to the dream world, so you better make good on what I want you to do, which is whoop that ass.
Well, you thought wrong, Heavy D. I'm here to bust your balls in the dream world. You're as doomed as bell bottoms or that lady's dead kids in Titanic.
Whoa. Whoa. You mean that poor old lady who had to tuck her kids in just before they died?
Yeah, you know, the one where she's telling the kids everything's gonna be alright as she tucks them in and the water's rising. Those kids.
That's fucked up, man.
Did you really think you were gonna get me to do your fighting for you against that waterlogged shit-for-brain zombie janitor chubster? Don't make me laugh. Because it hurts my lungs, which have been burned very terribly by those vengeful bears.
No, I get the whole killing and it's a nightmare and everything, but you're an asshole.
Hey, that's offensive. No. You're right. That was pretty fucked up. But I'm still gonna make fun of your weight before I do away with you in some ironical fat-related nightmare.
Whatever. Freddy, it comes down to you and me. I'm gonna whoop that ass. Shit, if I could only just get to Margot, Okay, all I gotta do is imagine that Margot's here and Margot's here, right? It's a dream world. Alright, Margot, super nice, does all the stuff I ask her to do, but she can't fabricate fucking Jason's mom's head for shit. No, don't be negative. All right, hold on. Margot, I'm reaching out with the Dream Force. Margot. Polo? Margot.
Commander. Are you there, Commander?
Margot, can you hear me?
Commander
Margot?
Dan, are you there?
You guys watch this. Margot, I'll be right there. Watch this.
It was 1989. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released for MS-DOS and Commodore 64 by ShareData, under the auspices of Monarch Software and Westwood Associates. The game was based on the Dream Warriors movie, which, by my reckoning, is the reason Freddy Krueger became one of the most over-the-top, popular icons of the horror cinema. The graphics on the DOS version were crude, They weren't at the level of like home consoles or the arcades. They looked more like the original Duke Nukem or Commander Keen, but played a lot like an RPG mixed with a top-down action title like Gauntlet. In fact, the way it played was a lot like Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Westwood Associates were famous for licensed games in the DOS era, including some of my very favorite games, Battletech The Crescent Hawk's Inception and Battletech The Crescent Hawk's Revenge, not to mention the classics Dune 2 and Eye of the Beholder. I mean, they were pioneers of taking a licensed property and treating it the way it was supposed to be treated. So check this out. You play as the Dream Warriors. First, you have to find Freddy's house as he's chasing you around the neighborhood because he captures one of your friends at random at the beginning of the game. Now you have to find the house, rescue your friends, and defeat Freddy. Pretty straightforward as you collect items, flip switches, and go through the house, but if you're going to do it, you can only do it if you're not going to play as Nancy. Because her power is, look, fucking literally victim. I mean, what the frickin' fuck is that? That's like, Nancy's the one who's a victim? Nancy's the one who beat him by just saying, I don't believe that you're scary anymore. And just fucking peaced out and fucking yeeted right out of her fucking room. And Freddy just crashed into a window. Yes, he slurped her mom into a door like a piece of spaghetti. But she's fine. She got to ride in a car with Johnny Depp and shit. Right? That's how that movie ends. It's been so long since I saw it. Anyway, in the game, Freddy's ma helps you by thwarting Freddy and letting you use your powers. And you spend the game flipping switches, like I said, opening doors. It's basically Zombies Ate My Neighbors on a much smaller, more simple scale. Anyway, a year later, and we get the LJN Rare folks getting together and creating a Nightmare on Elm Street for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Programmed by Steve Patrick, and music by composer extraordinaire David Wise, the man behind the RC Pro-Am music and other licensed titles like the WWF's WrestleMania game and The Amazing Spider-Man for the Game Boy. The WWF game actually has really good music. The gameplay is dog shit, but David Wise knew how to take a licensed title and make it sound like the title you're playing. And when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street, it's actually damned good. I'll show you here. Now, my copy of Nightmare on Elm Street was a gift from my good friend Ann. I never had a chance to play it at the time of its initial release, and Ann gave me a boxed copy, full, complete in box with a manual. And I played it through as much as I could. I haven't beaten it yet, but that's just because what I want to do is beat it with a bunch of my friends. Every time I play it, I just want to sit down, grab a Foursquare, grab some beers, grab my friends, and try and beat this as best as we can. So, before we get into it too in depth, let's just go over the basics. So, let's start off with the elephant in the room. It's an LJN game, so the manual is dog shit. It doesn't go into much. There's a lot of a blurb at the beginning explaining the premise of the game, but when it comes to who your characters are, you are one of 4 Elm Street teens. That's what they're called. No names here because they're leaning on that victim trope from the last game for all 4 characters, it seems. However, instead of each player having 1 power each and each having to rescue another player to get those powers, each player can grab one of 3 power icons while they're going through the levels, representing a Dream Warrior power. Now, each of the Dream Warrior powers has a jump ability and a ranged weapon. First up is a Shadow Warrior, but fuck, dude, it's a ninja. The picture's a goddamn ninja. It's a damn ninja. Ninja. Say the word ninja, people. Say it. It's a ninja. I think that this has to do with Rare being from the UK, so they can't, use the word ninja in Great Britain, because, ninjas killed the king's dog in the 12th century or some fucking thing. I don't know. Get over your dumb dead dog, Great Britain, and get down with the ninjas. Oh, well, you don't want to be a kick-ass ninja? I mean, Shadow Warrior? Well, you could be the acrobat, because everyone wants to be a fucking acrobat with stunningly wedged tightest of whiteys. Your camel toe and moose knuckle are just divine in this picture. Check that out. And you get those folded over Converse like they're part of the 1979 NBA All-Star team. But they have an unlimited supply of javelins and can flip and jump like Mary Lou Retton wrestling for AEW. Which is just as impressive as you think it is. Check this shit out. Oh, and last but not least, the necromancer. No, not that necromancer. This necromancer. I mean, come on. This character looks like what a parent's disappointment in your choices feels like. They look like the third runner-up in a Harry Potter costume contest with blind kids. They look like somebody got confused and got sorted into Hufflepuff twice. The nails are glam, I'll give it that, and they're metal as hell. But this is someone just LARPing in their stepmom's horoscope-themed bathrobe and apparently a sorting hat. Jesus, I can't even tell if this game is just being sarcastic or not. But the dweeby magician has powers, and they're badass. Has the power to float and to shoot fire orbs. I mean, that's 2 second-level spells right there. Making him the supreme victor. Oh, Jesus, it's catching. I've never felt so dorky in my life. And I'm very dorky. But look at that guy's face. This fool can't stand being the necromancer either. But who could blame them? I feel your pain, dweeb. I feel your dweeby pain. The game only has a couple power-ups. I mean, there's coffee to fill your sleep meter, and a radio to wake you up from being the lame-ass necromancer, and that's it. You go in houses, avoid wolves, bats, and cats, and then spooky versions of those things in the dream world, which basically just says, oh, it's a bat. Well, there's a fucking skull on its face. Now it's a bat skull, so watch out. It's a skull bat. Oh, and don't forget shamblers, a.k.a. zombies. They're not shamblers. They're zombies, goddammit. Damn it, Rare. Your restrictions on what you can say because you're from the Great Isle of Britain, Kingdom, United Nations of Planets, or whatever. Anyway, and the last enemy in the game is Freddy. Freddy has many forms. There's hopping around, scratching at your eyeballs, Freddy. There's Freddy has an arm, then his head spitting out tongues at you from part 3, basically. And then all 3 of them at once try and get you. I mean, the game takes a while to complete. You have to collect bones from the houses, fight Freddy, and then finally get to the furnace and put all the bones in the furnace. It's not insanely difficult, but it's just it's a slog. It's a slog to get everything done, and once you've gone into all the houses, collected all the bones of Freddy Krueger, who basically is made up of one kind of bone only, like a package of Mr. Bones candy that only has femurs, or like a oops, all femurs Captain Crunch box or something.
All right, Freddy. You thought you'd put me through my paces playing your crappy game. Well, I got news for you, baby. We're going to fight. So bring your ass out here, and it's all over for you. Dunsville. Dunyan Rings. All right? Burnt up baby killer grave. Population U. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, eat shit, space boy. I'm gonna gut you like a fat fucking fish. I own your lard ass. I'm gonna inception you like 1,000,000 times. I know you still fear me. Your nightmares make you weak. After I torture your mind and your cream and lard-based body, how will you ever know if you're in the real world again?
Very interesting theory there, Mr. Krueger. But you're missing 3 details. 1, I already know I'm in the dream world. Look how spooky it is right now. And 2, my imagination is on fire, son. And most importantly, we're in the dream world. And in my dreams, I'm fucking Wolverine. Let's dance, bitch. Yeah!
Oh, no. Oh, that's, oh, no, I need that. I need those. Oh, out the butt. No. Dirty son of a, oh. Oh. Okay.
Commander. Are you there, Commander? Commander Dan, are you there?
Huh?
Commander Dan, wake up.
What?
Wake up, Commander.
What's going on?
Explanation. You were so disheartened by your low survival probability against Jason Voorhees, you intended to bring Freddy Krueger out of the dream world and into the real world by downing sleeping pills and wine you made from toilet water, prunes, and raisins.
Oh yeah. Well, did I win?
Because you swallowed mints, not drugs, and drank non-fermented fruit juice mixed with toilet water. I'm not even sure how you fell asleep. Now I have to transmit the results of the review. Does Nightmare on Elm Street have a license to play?
All right. All fair points. And to answer the question, yeah, of course it does. I mean, it's an action-adventure game. A lot of people get this one wrong. But, Nightmare on Elm Street, grab yourself a couple beers, a couple friends, a couple controllers, and you can go after the greatest killer of all time, Freddy Krueger. And no, we're not going to do some kind of twist ending this time like the first movie did, or some M. Night Shyamalan thing, mainly because I already know I'm still dreaming, because I'm Wolverine! Ha! And that's going to be our review next week. Wolverine for the NES. Be there, it's going to be some mutant madness, bub.